Okay, so Audi A4 B5. It doesn't matter, Avant or sedan, it doesn't really matter. So on the preface, hence no LCD. On the preface, if you have the switch that's burned out, in other words your low beam's not coming on, or maybe your high beams turning on your heater, etc., etc., symptoms like your lighting system would be interfere with the rest of the functions of the switch. What's really happening is the melting process in that switch from overheating is causing stuff like that. So this video is about replacing that switch. So again, people who are scared, oh, the airbag will explode. This is my buddy's car, and I have just the same one. This is my 5th airbag replacement. So basically what I can tell you is this: common sense. Disconnect the battery, and as follows: 2 bolts right here with this T30. Okay, this wire right here, and this right here. Once you take this off, we're gonna follow next. This right here is your airbag's pressure sensor or impact sensor, which is piece of cake too. So we're starting with 2 bolts, a wire, but to begin all, so this is the bolt that we took off. It's this whole thing can be, you can buy this at Harbor Freight. It's M12. If you don't find it at Harbor Freight, I mean, it just depends. I think AutoZone should have it, or Napa should have it. The thing is that if you try any other ones, you might strip this thing, because for some reason they torque the crap out of this bolt. Yes, it's a steering wheel bolt, but you gotta have one hell of a vibration in this car to get this bolt loose, not to mention thread lock. See this? So I don't know why in the heck you have to tighten the crap out of it, but this was pretty tight, and I used this one. I just happened to have it. The conventional one, the T-Rexes, if you look closely, I almost stripped it. If you look close, I almost stripped it. So I went for this one, and I used this right here. It's like a foldable thing. It's also at Harbor Freight. And also, as you notice, I marked the spots, of course, So get this back in here, and there you go. So here what we have is this right here, 2 bolts, and one here, one here. Okay, so 4 bolts, and this thing comes off. This right here, it doesn't matter the position of it, you can't screw it up, because these pins, they lock into that steering wheel. And so don't worry about this, and it does not gonna, anything you do touch to it, nothing's gonna happen, as long as you don't lose these bolts. That's what matters. And as long as you kind of being able to see how they try to tamper with this rubber piece, because it's pain to get it back in there, so you have to be patient and prepare yourself to put that back in there. So as I'm going along, this is my tools I'll be using. Okay, obviously to get the big stuff off. This is to get my airbag off. On the back of the steering wheel there's 2 bolts like I was mentioning earlier. This is for that, to get the airbag off. This is to get the bolt off. This is to mark your spots on the steering wheel. This is to get your connectors off. You're gonna need that to pry things off, kind of get in there and wiggle things out. You're gonna use this Phillips one to unscrew the little bolts in this. So not much tools. I'm gonna say what, 3-4 tools, and 1 2 3 4 5 tools, whatever. The point is right there for you. You know, it's just not being, you know, overwhelmed by it. It can look scary to some, but I mean, look at it. Just if you're a high school mechanic, this should be a piece of cake. You know, even if you're not, just, you know, you got bolts put back, so you know you can't, you know, these bolts you can't really mess up. Just loosen up these, and I just loosen up the bottom ones. So the bottom ones hold these 2 pieces together. These ones hold the whole thing in place. So as I go up like this, as you can see, the bolt, and this right here, oh, there goes the bolt, because they're so snuck in there. Let's see. Oh yeah, reminder, get yourself a small dish where you can put the little screws. I didn't prepare for that. After all this time, I still haven't. And another thing I forgot to do, well, it's because I just got from work and I don't give a damn, is that pull back that steering wheel before you start anything, because right here is when you're gonna feel, you know, where you wish that you had that steering wheel pulled up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. Whoop-de-doo. A surprise. And like I said, you know, it's just that, you know, you don't have to have just, you know, you go for the feel when you see something that's not coming off. So that one just popped out like that. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And this one right here, pop, and it's got 1, 2, and 3. And 3 right here. See, nothing else. That's all it sits on. And it's triangulated, so you can't mess it up. See? Boom. So, no matter how you put it, you can't mess it up. So, pull the steering wheel back like I was telling you earlier. That way you have more access. So wires coming off, these wires are, you know, specific, so again you can't mess it up. So now we're getting to the meat of things. So this is the switch, the bolt for this and this. As you can see, it's opposite or reversed at the bolts from here, which means we're gonna have to take all of this off to get this off. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna take this one off, the Allen bolt. I don't know, you guess it. I don't know, what is that? It's just an Allen. Just if you have a good set of tools, you should be alright. Allen, whatever the hell you call it, basically. So just the big thing is, you know, time consuming is taking out these wires. Okay. So this part is off. So what did I do? I loosened up this, okay, it's hex, whatever the hell you call it. I don't give a damn about names right now. So I loosened this bolt off, and good to take a look at it. As you see, they're all kind of burnt. On mine, it was this one that I used to burn up. It would just get cooked up, melted, and usually you could see like over here, these big pins right here get cooked up. So the reason I said we need this is because you're gonna be going in like this with your screwdriver and kind of wiggling this stuff out, prying it off. This one, you're gonna have to loosen this up and pull it back to get this off. So once you get this off and this off, these are just pretty much easy. This one's just easy. You just gotta get in there like this and kind of pop it out. Even I did it by hand. This one, you go like this from this end and from the bottom, and it just pries off too. So all this is out. This right here, I think I just learned something. When you're going to be putting it back, I think it'd be easy if you just line it up like this, and as you slide it in, slide into this rail right here. That way you don't have to hassle and deal with this thing being slipping off. Anyway, so moving on to this. So bolt from this direction and bolt from this direction. We'll take this whole thing apart. Basically, we are replacing this side, and this area right here, this is where causes all the issues as far as lighting, as far as stuff not working. Brand new part. So if you look at the contour right here, if you look at this right here, sandwich effect and the sandwich design. So obviously new part. So here's a comparison. Okay, you got the idea. Piece of shit, I mean garbage, crap. New part right here. Okay, bolts are in, fresh tag, everything's new. Okay, it's getting dark, it's much faster. So wiring, putting stuff back in. Work inside out. When you were taking this off, we worked outside in, like in other words, pulling the outside wires first. Same way in reverse. Plug the inside wires first and finish up with the outside clips, and you're done with that. Okay, see, everything's still kind of loose because we haven't tightened up this bolt. Okay, so once we tighten this up, this will be up in there next. Sun is going down, no biggie. Alright, so see this right here? Basically this Okay, impact sensor. Okay, easy. I mean, it just uses the lining pins and it clips on. You can't go wrong. I don't care which way this thing spins. You know, this is going to get aligned with the steering wheel, so this one's clipped back in. Wire we're going to plug back in right there, see? Okay, this I put back in. I think this is going to be the most time consuming. It's going to be, I hate this thing. Every time I have to take this apart, this is the worst part. This is the most frustrating part, this little piece of rubber. Yeah, so far so good. So, new part, wires back in. This one is tightened up. Okay, and basically reverse assembly. I'm gonna put, what the heck did I do with it? I'm gonna put this right here inside that accordion, slide it in there, and bring everything together. So, two little bolts are in here to hold the whole thing in. But first, I screw these in, these long ones. Okay, they're all tightened in here. I hate dirty cars. This is dirty right here. Anyways, this is plugged in. You know, this, you know, it's not exact. This wasn't meant to be, you know, secure to begin with. So it is meant to be flexible on top, but overall just kind of hold things in. And then on top is going to go the steering wheel. And on that steering wheel is where we're going to plug in the last electrical piece, which is the airbag. Okay. And with this lighting, I'm gonna be trying to figure out how the steering wheel is going to line up, but I think I got it. As far as marking the steering wheel, you know, a 3-point would be much ideal. Don't just go 1, 2. Go 3-point here, here, and here. That way you'll get a better orientation. And this bolt right here, you know, it's totally up to you how you want to go about this. You want to waste half an hour on Google and trying to find that torque spec on this, or you see it's already a struggle to screw it in because that what the heck you go, the thread lock that's on that bolt. So as far as security and safety goes, tighten it up, hand tight, and plug in that airbag wire and tighten up these bolts, and we'll be testing afterwards. So securing this airbag, like I was showing earlier, plug in the wire, you know, pretty much self-explanatory. These bolts right here, okay, right here, basically just have to wiggle the airbag, and as you using the tool to kind of position them in there, and then you just tighten them up. The same goes here, kind of wiggle it, the bag, the airbag, and until they line up. And this right here, see, it's back in there. This right here is going to get tightened up with the bolt at the bottom. Keep it in like this, and that's it. That's really it. Steering wheel, wires, switch, everything. I don't know, with this video I might have wasted what, hour and a half? So hour and a half, about 6 or 7 tools, and your light switch is replaced. Now go ask a dealer how much that would cost.